Hello there, this is Tanya Harden, aka the Game Changer Coach. And my goal is to get you from your pain to your passion, from your passion to your purpose, and from your purpose to your promise. The way I'm going to do that is by getting you to say yes to your next. And the question is, are you ready? Yes, you are. You may have not known that you were ready, but you're ready for whatever God has next for you. Oh, by the way, did I tell you that I'm a kingdom girl? I'm also the pastor's wife of the greatest pastor ever, Bishop Clyde Harden Jr. of the New Destiny Fellowship Church. But most of all, I am a coach here to push you, to remind you that your pain had to happen, that to remind you that your life had to be interrupted so that you could be able to get to your passion and then to your purpose. I'm also the author of There is Power in Your Pain when you learn to speak life into it. Yes, there is power in your pain only when you learn to speak life into it. You're looking at a girl that has experienced some pain. Life has been interrupted. Life has happened, as well as you that's watching this right now. You've experienced sickness. You've experienced sadness. But I want to help you turn it around. But before we go further, we have to deal with some main issues. As women, I've been called to women. I'm called to women to help push them and remind them of who they are and who they belong to. You are special. You are amazing. You are awesome. If no one ever told you, I'm letting you know today that you are special. But in order for you to know that, there's some steps that we have to take in order for us to get you to your passion, to get you to your purpose, and to get you to your promise. We have to deal with the underlying issues. And until we deal with that, we won't be able to get there. But I'm here to help you with that. For the last 3 weeks, I have been dealing with standards. Standards as a woman, standards in your singleness, standards in your marriage is going to be today. When you get an opportunity, go look at the other 2 videos. But today, we're going to talk about standards in your marriage. There are some principles and there's some things that I want to share with you that I have had to learn within the last 17 years of marriage, the last 23 years, 24 of being with my husband since 1994. We've been together since we were 8th grade. I think I just gave you my age, but that's okay. We've been together for a very long time. We are also writing a book called Team Hardened, Marriage Survival Guide. So I'm so excited. I'm so excited to share with you today my most precious subject that I love to talk about is marriages. I love to deal with women. I love to deal with pain. But one of my main subjects that I love to talk about is marriages. Because what I found out in marriage is that there's so much pain, so much hurt that has happened because you've been together for years. But I want to help you. I'm not going to be able to help you, of course, overnight. But my goal is to push you on today through this clip to let you know that there's standards that you must hold when it comes to you being married. Make sure you go back and watch Standards as a Woman and then Standards in Your Singleness for all of my single ladies. But today, again, we're going to talk about standards in your marriage. Are you ready? Yes, you are, because you have your pen and you have your paper and you're ready to write it down so that you can apply it to your life, so that you could get these principles that's going to change your life and that's going to push you into your next in your marriage. Your marriage is such a sacred thing to God. You've made a vow to God that this is something that I'm going to do, that this is something that I've made a vow to, and we're going to talk about it. All right, here we go. Standards. What are standards? Standards come from a core of who we are spiritually and personally. And basically what we're going to do when you set standards, you're setting a core value of this is what I'm going to do. My yes is going to be yes and my no's are going to be no. I'm going to do this. This is the value. This is how I value myself when I see myself. As a woman, one of the things in your marriage that you have to do, again, I'm called to women because so many women walk around. I was that woman that did not know my worth, that did not know my value, did not know what I brought to the table, just thought that I was the woman that cooked, clean, have babies. That was it. No, the first thing that you must do when in a marriage, the standard that you must hold is that you respect yourself and your husband will respect you. If you do not respect you, your husband will not respect you. If you're not respectful to you, if you're not loyal to you, your husband is not going to be loyal to you. So you must set a standard that these are the things that I'm going to do to respect myself. If it's what I wear, if it's what I say, if it's what I do, I'm going to make sure that I respect myself, and I know that my husband is going to respect me. One of the things when respecting yourself and your husband respecting you is that you must know what you bring to the table. What do I bring to the table? If you don't know as a woman what I bring to the table, what you're bringing to the table, and you feel like that you're not worthy of this man, feel like that you're not worthy as a woman, what's going to happen is that man will not respect you because you're not going to respect you because you don't realize what you have on the inside of you. Yes, there is greatness in you. You were created for purpose. God created you in his image to be like him. Everything about you is amazing, but you have to believe that for yourself. If you do not believe that, if you do not have a self-confidence about yourself, your husband will not have confidence in you. And until you set that standard, because I can't deal with the husband until I deal with you. Because you have to set that standard. And one of the things about respecting yourself also is time. If you respect your time, your husband will respect your time. The standard that you have to set is that my time is valuable. My time, coming in. I would never forget when my husband and I first got married. And when we first got married, one of the things that I brought to the table because of old relationships and being in old relationships, I realized that there were some things that I allowed other men to do that were boyfriends and not my husband, that I allowed to happen. Coming in when you want to, leaving when you want to, not contacting me, not letting me know things. I realized that, you know what, I'm going to respect him by letting him know where I am, what I'm doing. I'm not going to come in wee hours of the night without letting my husband know where I am, what's happening, because anything can happen. When my husband and I were engaged, and while being engaged, I remember he came home from the military. My husband was in the military, and he came home and he wanted to go around and see all of his friends, which was very understandable at the time. Okay, cool, no problem. And he went around and he was visiting everyone. Well, it went on and I didn't see him into that night. Picked him up off the plane, and he wanted, he rented a car and just left me and went and spent time with his friends. I would never forget it. And I remember saying to myself, do I want to be in a relationship where it's okay for my husband to just leave me here and go for hours away from me? Am I going to be okay with that? Is that comfortable to me? No. So what I did immediately, that's the key thing, is that you must let the person know that there's an issue immediately. I let him know, hey, going forward, if we're going to get married, these are the things that I require as a woman. I need to know if you're okay. I thought you were in a wreck. I thought you were in a hospital somewhere. I'm thinking you just came home from the military. Maybe you had a wreck. I don't know. So at this point, I need to know if you're okay. These are the standards that I need, because I've been through this before and I don't want to face this type of relationship in my life. And I don't want to be with a man for 15, 16 years and you're just leaving and you don't tell me where you're going. Can you respect me enough to make sure that that doesn't happen? Can I tell you, 17 years of our marriage, there's not nowhere, and I explain this to our church all the time, my husband can leave and we don't talk for 2-3 hours. That's fine. But if we don't talk for 10 hours, one of us is dead or in the hospital, because that's how much we respect each other. We got to respect each other. There has to be respect in a marriage. Of time, not only time, but you got to respect my mind, and I got to be kind to you. So my time, my mind, and be kind. I'm going to be kind about it, but I need you to respect my time. I need you to respect me as a woman. There's no such thing as you having a cell phone. Simple things. Having a cell phone and I don't know the code. That's like a big no-no. And it's not about being insecure, it's about standards. Same, vice versa. He knows the codes to my phone. I'm not trying to mess up anybody's household. I'm just letting you know that when you set standards, it keeps the enemy from coming in to destroy your marriage. Did you not know that the enemy wants to destroy your marriage? That he's out for marriages? He's against marriages? He's against productivity? He's against it. But God loves marriages. And I come to help you with that today. The number one thing is respect yourself and your husband will respect you. Respect yourself and your husband will respect you. The second thing is effective communication. Yes, effective communication. Effective communication. There's a proper way to communicate when you're dealing with your spouse. We have a conference called the Marriage Refresher Conference that's coming up actually this week. The week that I'm talking about marriages. If you can't come, we're going to record it, all that great stuff. Tell you more about that later. But the second thing is effective communication. Effective communication. There's a proper way for you to speak or say things to your husband. Can I tell you, ladies, that your husband cannot read your mind? Why do I say that? Because I have been a living witness. I thought that my husband could read my mind. Yes, I thought he could read my mind. I thought he knew exactly what I thought. I thought he knew exactly how I felt. No, that's not the case. We're two different people. And in our book, we kind of talk about that, how we're totally different and how we had to learn to embrace each other's attitude and acknowledge that this is who we are. Acknowledge the fact that I like to spend money and he doesn't. Acknowledge the fact that he loves to wake up early in the morning. I don't. Acknowledge the fact that this is who we are. So if we're going to acknowledge that, there has to be an effective way for us to communicate. So if I'm going to communicate with my husband, I have to leave the words you and they out. Again, I have to leave the words you and they out. The way that I use it. For an example, you keep saying that we can't spend time together, and I don't understand why you won't let us spend time together. You won't take out the time to spend with me. First of all, my persona in my neck was too much. And me pointing to you. I could have said, I feel like that sometimes we don't spend enough time together. Is there any way that we could go out? I didn't make it about you because you is defensive. So we have to be very, very careful of how we communicate with our spouses. Or women being very sarcastic. Your husband may say something to the nature of, I forgot to take out the trash. We turn around and say, you think? That's sarcastic. So be careful of how you use those if you want to hold standards in the marriage of how your husband effectively communicates with you. If you communicate with him properly, he's going to communicate with you properly. Remember that you guys were made for each other, and you have to acknowledge that you're totally different. You're two different people, and you have to remember, just because if my husband wakes up in the morning and I'm like, why do you keep waking me up? Of course he's going to get defensive. But if I come in a different approach and say, babe, hey, I can't really sleep when it's really loud. There's a different way. Effective communication. Must learn how to communicate. Not only that, don't use the word they. Take responsibility for what you've done. Take responsibility. They didn't do it. They didn't make you do it. Leave they out of that, because they is not a part of your marriage. You and your husband are a part of this marriage. So we made the mistake. We messed up, and us are going to keep it together. I know that may not make sense, but you understand where I'm going. Not only that, the third thing you want to do is hold your vows. You made a vow in front of your pastor, in front of the judge, in front of your priest, whoever. You made the vow in sickness and in health, to death do us part, for rich or for poor, to have and to hold, until death do us part. You made the vow. You made that vow in front of everyone, but most of all, you made the vow in front of God. That was a reason why you married him. You didn't know? There were butterflies at one point when you first met him. You were attracted to him. It was something about him that made you say, wait, I like him. There was something about him that made you get the flutters on the inside. There was something about him that attracted you to him that you said, I have to say I do. Remember that. Rekindle your fire for your husband. God created marriages. It's your job to make sure that you respect yourself. Then your husband will respect you. Have effective communication. But most of all, stick to your vows. You made the decision to marry him. Stick with your vows. If you need help counseling, reach out. My husband and I are leaders. We're pastors. We're not professional counselors, but we are spiritual counselors that can push you spiritually. Like I stated, we love marriages. So know that you love your husband. Know that you love your spouse, your wife. Know that you love them. And by you loving them, if the husbands are watching this, by you loving them, please know that there was a reason why you were attracted to her. Don't run and move too fast, but make sure you set standards with each other. Do not be married in a marriage for 15, 20 years and no one is speaking up. No one is saying anything, because I promise you, you will be miserable. You want to have a healthy marriage, and we want to help you have a healthy marriage. Until next time, I can't wait for Monday Motivation, where we're going to do Q&A about marriages. And I have a special surprise. So don't miss it. I can't wait to see you. Get connected with me so that we can stay connected and we can grow together. I'm on Instagram under Tanya Harden, Game Changer. I'm on Periscope, Tanya Harden. I'm on Facebook, Tanya Harden, as well as the Game Changer Connection private Facebook group. I'm also on YouTube, Tanya Harden. You can connect with me any way possible. You can also connect with me on my website, www.tanyaharden.com. That's www.tanyaharden.com. Also, shoot me your questions right now. You can shoot them at tanyaharden.tgc@gmail.com. It's right there. Right there. tanyaharden.tgc@gmail.com. I can't wait to hear from you. I can't wait to answer your questions on tomorrow at 8 p.m. So remember, no matter what, there is power in your pain when you learn to speak life into it. Stay blessed. Game Changers Connection. Let's go to our next. Are you ready?